was a sad day. If you're a Michigan fan, that is. Today was a really fucking sad day. I mean, I don't need to get into why, but it was just a really, really bad day. Pretty excruciating loss. Pretty pathetic loss. Pretty fucking pathetic day, if you can ask me, for the program of Michigan. Just, I mean, where do I start, guys? Like, honestly. I mean, I took the biggest L on Twitter ever. I mean, I tweeted some stupid bullshit last night, and it fired back right in my face. I pretty much said they were going to win big, and State was a joke for losing to Rutgers, and they shouldn't be hype about this game. And they were fucking hype. They came to play. And you know what? That seems to be the trend with this rivalry, outside of last year. They come to play, and Michigan doesn't. And that's as simple as that. Michigan doesn't come to play. They seem scared. They seem timid. And I don't know if that has to do with coaching. I don't know what that has to do with, but it's a serious problem. And that's why I'm on the Fire Harbaugh train at this point. I've been backing the guy for over half a decade now, since day one. And honestly, I really thought there was going to be phenomenal things that happen with this program once we competed with Ohio State the first year, and we're a 2-loss football team. I really thought there was phenomenal things coming, but we've only regressed. His peak year was the first year here, which is pathetic if you think about it. Absolutely pathetic. Yeah, that was a really talented football team, but he was basically playing with Hoke guys. He didn't have his own recruits until years 3 to 4. So, like, what's happened, and what's the problem, and why does Don Brown still have a job? Like, and I know I hate blaming individual players here. I hate it. The DBs were absolutely putrid today. Absolutely putrid. Not Dax Hill. Dax Hill wasn't bad at all. And Dax Hill's going to be a phenomenal player in the NFL. He's definitely a gamer. There's no doubt. Like, shout out to Dax Hill. But, I mean, Victor Gray, I mean, how many times can you get burnt in one game? And pretty much only by a true freshman at that. So, and, Lombardi, you know, he showed signs of being really good. But he's a pretty average college football quarterback. He's a pretty average D1 quarterback. And, yeah, his completion percentage was only about 50% today. But, I mean, he was easily, 13 yards of completion? 14 yards of completion, I believe? That's unacceptable. When you're favored 26 points and you come into this game, like, I didn't even think a loss was possible. I'm not even going to lie. And that's my own fault for being a Michigan fan and thinking too highly of this overrated debacle of a program. This overrated, like, yes, we are a prestigious program. We are among the top 10 prestigious programs in college football history. But let me tell you, it's not because of what we've done recently. And we can all agree with that. We can definitely all agree with that. It's been sickening over the last 20 years. Absolutely sickening. And it's sad that I've been a fan of the song. And today is the day I cut it off. It's the day. And I don't care. Like, I've talked to a few people. It's like, oh, well, you better not get back on and blah, blah, blah. No, there's, and like, oh, you're going to miss out on the highs if you jump off. It's like, no, dude, there is no highs. This program gives you devastating loss after devastating loss every fucking season. And at some point, you just got to be like, okay, I'm done with this. You know, and this is where I'm at. I'm done with this. I'm completely done. It's, you know, my dad, you know, he gave up on the Detroit Lions a few years ago after being a fan for about 40 years. And he gave up. He finally gave up. He went to the Packers bandwagon. Now, I'm not going to go to that extreme because that's basically the equivalent of going to Ohio State bandwagon. I'm not doing that shit. I still have a passionate hatred for the Buckeyes. I still have a passionate hatred for the Spartans. I think my hatred for Michigan State is more than Michigan or more than Ohio State, but I'm not going either one of those routes. I'm choosing to just not give a fuck anymore. It's as simple as that. I'm not giving a fuck because it's a waste of my time. Because there's, like I said, there's no highs to this program. It's mediocrity at its finest. That's all it is. And anybody that supports mediocrity, what are you doing? Seriously, what are you doing? As I sit here as a Detroit Lions fan and a Detroit Pistons fan, and I say that, but it's a little different when it comes to Michigan because we have we have the resources to be a top-tier football program in the country. And we can't put it together. We can't. Milton, honestly, everybody's saying he looked good. I really didn't see it. I really didn't see it. I seen a ton of predetermining, a ton of it, like staring down his first option. I don't think he completed a pass to all. One time. Every time he targeted the tight end, all, it turned out to be a negative result. And I mean, like, I know, there's a lot more than just Milton. The RPO, the play calling, I haven't even got into the play calling. The play calling I haven't seen worse play calling in years. Straight up, I have not seen worse play calling in years. How many times are you going to run an RPO and gain less than 2 yards? How many fucking times? And how many times, yes, it's an RPO, and sometimes, they tell you, like, I'm sure Harbaugh's like, hey, give it to the running back majority of the time. We're trying to establish the ground game. We want to avoid you taking hits because you're a high value piece of the quarterback position. Want you to stay healthy. But how many times are you going to run the same RPO play and get nothing? And just keep doing it over and over. And the offense is stalling and we're still losing. We trailed basically the whole game. It's mind-blowing against a bad Michigan State football team. Call it what you want. They're not that good of a football team. But shout out to Michigan State. Honestly, and it kills me to say that, but shout out to Michigan State, man. They played their asses off from the start of the game. Played their fucking asses off, and they didn't stop. Simmons, I hope you have a phenomenal career in the NFL because, I mean, you talk about a gamer, like, he was disrupting every single part of Michigan's offense today. Him alone. And overall, I mean, their defense, they played phenomenal. Like, and Michigan's continued to prove that they don't have a vertical passing game. Even when we had DVP and Nico, like, we couldn't get vertical with anybody, and that had a lot to do with Shea's inability to throw the ball down the field. But Milton hasn't made a single good throw down the field in 2 games so far. So you have to think that, like, either we're just not, it's not our focal point, and we're just not practicing it, or, like, I don't know. But it's 3 quarterbacks in a row that can't get vertical with the passing game. At some point you have to blame coaching. You have to. There's no reason. How many targets did Ronnie Bell have today? I didn't know, but it wasn't double digits. It wasn't over 6. It wasn't over 5. He barely got targeted, and it was late in the game. Yeah, they might have zoned in on him, but it doesn't matter. That's your number 1 target, and he barely got any looks. And downfield, man, it's going to be a struggle. OSU's going to put 150 on us. And, I just feel like it's the same old song and dance. And, State fans probably listen to this thinking, wow, like, I fucking told you so, like, Michigan's a joke. Michigan is a joke. I'm not going to disagree with it anymore. When the conversation gets brought up, I'm done defending this program. I'm done. Because I've spent too long doing it, and I'm done. It's a waste of my time. It's unhealthy. It's legitimately unhealthy. And I was upset earlier. I was really upset. I was at my girlfriend's family Halloween party. Had a great time outside of watching that football game. I had to keep my composure the entire time. It was not easy. Let me tell you. I was actually sitting next to a couple State fans at the time, but I respect the hell out of them. Wasn't going to say nothing. Wasn't going to, act like a little bitch. Like a typical Michigan fan. But like I said, I'm sitting here tonight, and I'm kind of absorbing the whole situation. And fire Jim Harbaugh. That's what it comes down to. Fire Jim Harbaugh. Fire the whole regime. It's over. Okay? You had 6 years. You've had 7 years now to take a early season L after what we thought was a good W against Minnesota, which turns out to not be a good W, and then come back and lose to Michigan State at home in Game 2. Absolutely unacceptable. Get rid of everybody. I don't care if it's worse. I don't care. This program is not reaching that next level with this regime. It's not going to happen. They continue to prove it to us. And I'm done, man. I don't know how many times I got to say it, but I just wanted to come at you guys with, a quick post-game recap and, give you guys my thoughts on this whole thing. reach out to me, man. Let's discuss it. I don't want to talk too much about Michigan personally, just because it's sickening. There's really not much to talk about outside of them being a joke. So, once again, shout out to Sparty. I mean, phenomenal fucking game. You guys wanted it more. It seemed to be the trend in the last decade. You guys have wanted it more. That's why you guys have 3 Big Ten titles. That's why you guys have beaten us multiple times. Because they want it more. They come to play and we don't. We're timid. So, I hope you guys have a great Halloween night, though. Be safe, doing whatever you're doing tonight. And take it easy. I'll be coming at you guys tomorrow morning with another pre-game NFL podcast, some fantasy advice, and just some late, injury updates and stuff like that. Keep you guys posted. So once again, I really appreciate you guys tuning in, and take it easy.